go ahead and move on to some of what we've been watching. Kevin, start off this week.
All right.
Do it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so after thoroughly enjoying Wild Canaries and seeing a number of people make the
Comparison.
connection that it's essentially Manhattan Murder Mystery by Woody Allen from 1993, I decided, hey, let's give that a go. Let's do that. Let's find out how similar they are. And they're essentially exactly the same fucking
Hmm.
movie. Pretty much. There's some slight variations, but man, they are essentially the same. And guess what? Just as much fun. It's Woody Allen being playful and fun. Manhattan Murder Mystery. So, I mean, if you enjoyed Wild Canaries, you're more than likely going to enjoy Manhattan Murder Mystery. It's just a Woody Allen spin on it. Or I guess I should say that Wild Canaries is a Lawrence Michael Levine spin on Woody Allen's take, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I mean, the comedy is there throughout. Him and Diane Keaton, just fantastic chemistry. I could watch them all day. Just those two bickering and arguing. The back and forth that they have is fantastic. And much like Wild Canaries, once the murder mystery kind of pops up and you have the sleuthing and the detective work and everything, the comedy doesn't take a back seat. It's always in the forefront, and it's just an enjoyable time throughout. So if you liked Wild Canaries, you need to check out Manhattan Murder Mystery.
How'd you see this?
Simple as that. I got this on DVD.
Okay. Check it out. Sticking with the Italian theme, I went to see Dario Argento's Phenomena, aka Creepers, last night. It's from 1985. Never saw this before. I'm just going to read you the synopsis here. A 14-year-old Jennifer Connelly plays a young girl with the ability to communicate with insects. Newly transferred to a Swiss boarding school roiled by a string of murders, she joins forces with an entomologist, played by Donald Pleasance, and his trusted chimp to find the killer before she becomes the next victim. Mixing elements of giallo, horror, and the supernatural, Phenomena is one of Argento's greatest films.
Yes.
If that synopsis doesn't get you on board with seeing this movie, I don't know what will. It is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. It is just this random mishmash of ideas.
I love the fact that it's a trusted chimp. This chimp has proven himself time and time again.
I don't even understand.
I'm just completely on board with that. I just wanted to be a trusted
So
chimp.
Donald Pleasance is in a wheelchair. He was in a car accident, or he was hit by a car years prior, and it left him in a wheelchair, and the chimp is his kind of helper, his helper chimp.
Are you kidding
And
me?
the chimp, I don't know why the chimp's in the movie. There's no reason for the chimp being in the movie.
But how does he help? How does the chimp help?
Donald Pleasance has
like one
he has a
example.
laser pointer, and he'll shine the laser pointer on various things, and the chimp will go get him
Are you
things
kidding
or
me?
open doors. He's a really smart chimp.
That
And the
sounds
chimp does end up killing someone with one of those old timey razor blades, the shaving razors, the straight razors.
Oh
He
my
does
God.
kill somebody with it.
Do you have a chimp kill someone with a razor?
There's also
Like that's all you have to say.
There's also a little person in some sort of a little person dressed up as a child that is wearing some sort of monster makeup that kills people with a giant pike, like a medieval pike.
What in the world is happening? We didn't even you didn't even get to. She talks to insects.
She does talk to insects. She is able to communicate and not control, but sort of ask them to do things, and they'll
suggest.
yeah. She kind of like when she needs help, the insects will come help her. It's
How do insects
usually
help her?
by swarming onto the people that are trying to hurt her.
This sounds unbelievable.
Also, when it's funny because when they decide that they're gonna catch this killer, Donald Pleasance is like, the two greatest detectives in the world are about to catch this killer, and then he looks at Jennifer Connelly and he's like, you and that fly, and she uses a fly to help track down where the killer is because the fly knows where the corpses are buried, and the fly guides her to
Oh my
I'm
God.
telling you, dude, you have to see this movie. And one of the,
Now I'm afraid to ask because this might take it over the top and I'll lose all control of reality. But is there any point in time where the chimp fights the insects?
no, no, because they're on the same side.
Thank
The
God.
the chimps and the
Thank
insects
God.
are on the same side.
Oh,
The
thank
chimp's a
God.
good guy. So
I don't know if I would be able to handle that if you said
one of the
yes.
funny things about this movie is it completely randomly plays rock and roll music, specifically metal. Motorhead, Iron
Okay.
Maiden, some other metal bands in there at completely inappropriate and random times. I mean, I'm telling you, when you see it, you're just like, "What?" It'll make you laugh hysterically. The whole theater erupted at several moments in this because it is
Oh
so
God.
random when Argento decides to put in this rock and roll music, and it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's not even during a big action scene or a suspense scene. He just throws it in willy nilly, random Motorhead, random Iron Maiden, and you're just like, what? It'll catch you off guard. The sound mixing is terrible in it too. It's way louder than everything else, so it drowns everything out. Oh,
Mm.
it's awful. I will say though, if you're in New York, I highly recommend checking out this series. It's at the Anthology Film Archives. It's going to be over the next 10 days, and all of the films that they are presenting are the original 35 millimeter prints of the films. So we got to see it in 35 millimeter. It was awesome.
Well, well. Guess what I got to see on my computer screen?
What?
Dead End Driving.
Yeah. Dead end driving.
So I decided, it's time to take another stab at one of your suggestions
Heading into the
from your movie
heading
challenge for this year.
going.
The old
Yeah,
exploitation.
yeah. One of my favorite
I figured this,
favorite styles.
yeah, I figured it's about time to dip my toes into one of the other genres that you presented me, and this just sounded ridiculous. So I was like, let's go, dive head first into this one. Um, I don't really know what the fuck this
Yeah,
is.
it's it's
I don't.
it's something, isn't it?
Um, it's like post-apocalyptic, but I'm not 100% sure what they're going for. Um, and much like Spring, it takes forever until it gets to its main focus, where everything before it just kind of seems like a waste of time. And then, it finally gets to the drive-in theater, where apparently this is turned into it says that it's turned into a concentration camp, but it didn't feel like that at all. Just felt like free range prison,
Yeah, it was like a summer camp.
some sort. Yeah, it's not like there's no labor. They're not forced to do anything. They just sort of lounge around, and apparently they have makeup, like an endless supply of makeup, so they can, do their paint their faces up and do ridiculous hairstyles and whatnot, and just ridiculous clothing. Everyone's ridiculous looking in this movie, except for Crabs.
I
Crab.
One of the reasons I love this movie is because it completely encapsulates how bad guys looked in 80s action movies. They all looked like that, they had the kind of they had the like
They're all
punk rock
reproduced
look.
warriors,
It was all
and there's
it was all
the
derived
bad guys.
it was all derived from Mad Max, I think.
Yeah, and everyone is just a ridiculous version, especially the bad guys that Krabs comes in contact with, the other members that are trying to haze the new guy,
Mhm.
especially the guy that seems like a reject from the young ones.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I don't understand the point of any of this. Like, I mean, the director seems to bring up some things that, some serious discussion points that he wants to bring up, especially, when they bring in I guess the Asian immigrants,
Yeah.
and it goes into this like white supremacy type storyline, but that's never like fully developed
Right.
or even explored really outside of just like, hey, they shouldn't be here. And then it's mostly just Krabs trying to get out,
Mhm.
just trying to get out over and over again. And he keeps trying to save his girlfriend for some reason, which I don't understand because she's a terrible person and she's just dead weight, really. And once the film was over and the credits were rolling, I had no idea what the hell I just watched.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't I don't get it. I don't understand the point of it. I don't know what I was supposed to get. Everything was just ridiculous.
There's some good stunt work in that movie, though.
There is. There is some good stuff. There's an explosion which is entirely too big
It's
for
huge.
what happened. It blows up like the entire grounds. And it all it consists of is like one car driving into another car. And in some way, shape, or form that results in the biggest explosion I've seen on
Probably a
film.
chain reaction. Probably a chain reaction situation because there's a lot of cars in that drive-in.
There is a lot of cars. Yes, you are correct. There's just cars everywhere. And they just keep bringing cars in, and I have no idea what the hell that's supposed to represent. Like, I don't get this whole car business. I don't understand it. And they're salvaging
Yeah.
cars. And there's car boys, which they just laugh
Mm-hmm.
maniacally for some reason.
Because you always
And that's it. That's all how they develop. That's as much as they're
in the
developed.
'80s you always have to have the laughing goons. That's
The
I think
cackling.
that was just the way it was in the '80s. You always have the one
And then there's
guy that laughed all the time.
And then out of nowhere, it just cuts to Krabs, like just driving through a wasteland for some reason. And then he gets attacked by car boys and he gets away. And you're thinking, what was the point of that? Why was that there? What is happening? Is there a movie here? Like what are we doing?
It's ridiculous.
It's kind of entertaining, but at the same time it just kind of gets old after a while.
Well, actually, on that same list, there's another. You have another one on your list from the director Brian Trenchard Smith, Turkey Shoot. I think I think Turkey Shoot,
Wait, hold up. What was the name of
Turkey
it?
Shoot. I think
Oh, I also wonder who's the guy on the poster? Who's that guy?
he's the bad guy, right? Isn't he?
Is he? I don't remember seeing him at
I think
all.
he's supposed to be the bad guy.
What, the guy with the flock of seagulls
I
hair?
think so.
The chubby guy? Which I thought was hilarious. Him being like the leader of the bad guys was a chubby flock of seagulls reject.
Brian Trenchard Smith also did Stunt Rock, which is one I almost gave you. But Stunt Rock's not even like a movie really at all. It's just like I don't think there's any plot to it at all. It's rock and roll music and then various stunts. That's it.
Nice. That actually sounds kind of fun.
Stunt Rock.
Stunt
He
rock.
also did BMX Bandits, which is Nicole Kidman's debut.
Oh my God.
And he did Drive Hard, which just came out last year with Thomas Jane and John Cusack, which I have a Blu-ray review up for, and it was really bad. It was terrible. I love exploitation. I because I think it's just it's heavy on action. It's like a lot heavier on action than some of the other like American exploitation and stuff. They really go big with the stunts, and I think that it's kind of fun. I think that I
It's
actually think that you'll genuinely like Road Games though. The other one I gave you with Stacy Keach. I think
I'm
I
looking
think
for,
you'll like that one.
it's just they're funny.
Oh yeah.
They are
None
funny.
of them are. Well, I would argue that Mad Max 2 is actually like a pretty good movie, but most of them are not. They're not good movies. They're just fun.
Gotcha.
One movie that I saw that is not a good movie and it's a little bit fun is Zombeavers, which came out this week.
All right.
I had very little to no expectations going into this one. I don't think you're really supposed to have any kind of
I would hope
expectations.
no one. I want to meet someone that actually has expectations going
So
into it.
basically, it's exactly what you imagine. It's the beginning of the film features Bill Burr and John Mayer, the singer John
Yep.
Mayer,
I'm in.
driving
I'm
a
in.
truck full of toxic waste down the road. Bill Burr is driving, and he is looking at his phone, and he doesn't see a deer walk in the middle of the road. He hits the deer, swerves, barrel of toxic waste falls off the back of the truck, lands into a beaver dam, mutates the beavers, turns them into giant zombie beavers, and they terrorize a group of 20-something assholes that are vacationing at a lake home.
Fantastic.
It's ridiculous, and it's not even enjoyable. It's not even entertaining. until the end,
Uh,
when you find out that anyone that gets scratched or bitten by one of the Zombeavers turns into a Zombeaver. Then it gets fun when the actual humans start turning into beavers.
uh, how?
They
How so?
mostly they just grow giant beaver teeth, and it's ridiculous.
I was hoping that that was what
They
you
also
wanted to say.
grow giant beaver
The
tails too.
tail?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a movie that's like Piranha 3D or Big Ass Spider, where they're kind of poking fun at these creature features, and I actually liked it. I thought that it was funny and was entertained by from the point where they start turning into Zombeavers themselves. I was into that. I thought it was ridiculous and over the top and funny. Everything before that I wasn't into it. The setup took way too long because every single one of these characters are horrible, and I hated them, and I just couldn't wait for them to all get killed by these beavers. And that
They try and spend time on
it
backstory.
just it really brought it down for me because it was too over the top. The characters were just none of them were likable at all. But again, it really kind of pulled it together by the end, and I thought it was pretty fun and goofy and bloody and stupid fun. That's Zombeavers. It is. You can get this on demand right now.
Where else are you going to find a podcast that discusses La Sapienza,
Yeah,
Zombeavers, Spring, Dead End Drive-In, and Manhattan Murder Mystery?
diversity.
What an
That's what we're all about. Diversity.